Hello, crafty friends. It's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and I'm so excited to be here celebrating Altenew's 6th anniversary. They have been producing these wonderful layered stamp sets for 6 years, and we're here to celebrate. I started with the delicate Primrose stamp set, which is new to me. I just actually purchased it. And so now what I'm doing is I'm actually going to use the ornate cover die, and then I'm going to cut a stencil out with that and use that to dry emboss the piece of Nina cardstock for the base. So I've dry embossed it, and then I'm going to line the stencil up, and now I'm working with some of the yellows from the Golden Sunset ink pad set. And so I'm kind of starting out a little bit darker in one area and then kind of just moving out towards the edges. And this will be my background for one of the cards. I actually created 4 cards using this delicate Primrose set. So if you go to my blog, you'll see all 4 cards. I'm just focusing on one card here for the video today. So again, here's the background with that coloring on through the stencil, and again it is dry embossed, so it's got great texture to it. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing some of the stamps, and I'm going to start with the outline first. I find that easier when working with these floral stamps. So again, I'm working on stamping the outline, and then we'll start working with some of the colors, the layered colors. Adding some more leaves in here. You can always use extra leaves. And again, I find that when I do these kinds of things, I tend to stamp multiple half sheets of images, and then I cut them all out, and then I can make more than one card, which is what I did for this particular block hop. I did 4 cards using these flowers. So again, we're just working on adding the different layers on here. And the detail on these is just really, really amazing. I really like this set. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to add a little pop of color, a little pop of embossing powder there in the middle. So I am using my Versamark to stamp the top layer of the floral center, and then I'm using a yellow embossing powder from Wow to add on to here to just kind of give it a little pop of color. I like pops of color. So just heat embossing it here. So for this particular card, I used the largest shorter vase from the Modern Vases die set that was a fairly recent release. And so I am watercoloring here using the Altenew turquoise watercolor brush pen. And so I'm working here and then adding some water and just kind of smoothing it out. So I love this color combination. The turquoise and the yellow, I just think is, just has such a great pop to it. So again, this is watercolor paper, and I'm still working on adding the colors. You'll see in the very end, I did take a micron pen and add an outline to it. So here I'm just putting the card together. So I've got a piece of kind of that golden yellow cardstock that's going to be the base piece. And then on this, I'm just adding the glue tape and going to center it. It is cut a little bit short on the sides so that pop of yellow comes through. And then we'll go ahead and figure out where the vase should be. Just kind of gluing everything in place. And then playing with where the flowers go, It's always kind of fun doing this flower arrangement. I never quite considered myself a flower arranger, but certainly when making cards, we do turn into that, don't we? So again, I wanted to pop the one flower up so that, again, gives it some dimension. And then I'll add some green leaves behind. And by the way, I use the Golden Sunset Deep Blue Seas and Green Valley ink sets to create the pieces of parts for this particular card. So still kind of playing here with the leaves. Need to stick one underneath there. I just love the way these cards turned out. Like I say, I really love the turquoise and yellow theme on them. And so I ended up, the last thing I needed to do was to do the sentiment, and I decided to put it right there in the middle of the base. And it also came from that delicate Primrose set. So again, this is Terry with Terry's Mailbox. This is all 4 cards that you can see on my blog. So thank you for Altenew, to Altenew, for inviting me to participate in this blog hop. It's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and I'm on YouTube, Blogger, Instagram, and Facebook. Please go out and follow me.